In this story, you can read along with me in your book. You will know it is time to turn over the page when you hear this. Let's begin now.
The Desert Collection. It is the most sophisticated armed helicopter in the world. It has 14 firepower options, ranging from 30mm cannons to nuclear-tipped Shrike missiles. It flies at supersonic speeds and is virtually indestructible. The most efficient fighting machine ever built. And it is called Airwolf. Apart from the distant cry of a wild bird, the only sound at the still, calm lakeside is the whirring rattle of a fly fishing reel. As Stringfellow Hawk pulls in a flashing silver wriggling trout, his attention is caught instinctively by a new, distant sound. He glances up into the deep, cloudless sky, lands the trout safely, and looks upwards again. His dog, Tet, ears twitched forward, listens too. Then faintly in the clearness, Hawk's keen eyes distinguish a speck growing larger every moment. The sound of a helicopter confirms his instincts are right, and he strolls from the lakeside back to his cabin, the trout now safely tucked into his fishing bag, alongside 2 other 3-pounders caught during the afternoon. Tet goes with him, and once inside the cabin, they both wait to see who the visitors are that disturb their tranquility. Soon there is a knock, and Hawk calls out,
"Come in. It's open."
3 people enter. First, Archangel. He walks with the aid of a silver-handled rosewood cane, is dressed in his usual white Panama suit, and wears a black contrasting eye patch. Morella, looking as always radiantly beautiful, also in a white suit, follows close behind, smiling and greeting. Then Dominic Santini, gray-haired, barrel-chested, and noisy, comes in.
"Hi, String." "Hi, Tet."
Hawk smiles and acknowledges Santini with a slight wave of the hand, and Tet wags his tail in pleasure.
"Nice to see you again, Mr. Hawk."
It is Morella, as she stands by an open window looking across at the lake, the evening sunlight emphasizing the gentleness of her soft, dark skin.
"Even nicer to see you, Morella."
Hawk replies quietly.
"Wish I could say the same for you, Archangel."
Archangel is looking at a framed painting hanging near to Hawk's cello.
"A new one, Hawk?"
Hawk saunters to the bar and reaches for 4 glasses.
"An old one. Quite old."
"As old as me?"
Santini laughs.
"No one's as old as you, Dom."
Hawk smiles in return and opens a bottle of cool, clear Montrachet. Archangel is still gazing at the painting.
"Fancy a couple of weeks away, Hawk?"
Stringfellow Hawk pours the wine carefully.
"No thanks. And it's about 100 years old."
Morella walks across and joins Archangel.
"It's beautiful, Mr. Hawk. Looks like a Renoir."
"It is a Renoir."
He places the drinks on the center table, takes a glass himself, and sips appreciatively. Archangel goes to the table, picks up a glass, and looks straight at Hawk's clear blue eyes.
"Ever heard of Siva?"
Hawk is puzzled.
"Siva? Siva, Archangel? I know of no painter called Siva. The only Siva I've heard of is the Brahmin god Siva, the destroyer."
Hawk hands a glass to Santini. Archangel flops into a chair.
"Destroyer is right, Hawk. Morella, tell him about the modern-day Siva."
Morella sits on a bar stool, crosses her elegant legs, and looks at Hawk steadily.
Siva is the name of a group of international terrorists who've either been responsible or involved in almost every major vicious terrorist incident for the past 8 years. They're responsible not only for the deaths of scores of security forces and police, but also for masses of innocent people.
Hawk nods.
"Yes, I've heard of them. Now you mention it."
Santini holds his glass out for another drink.
"Why haven't they been destroyed?"
Archangel leans forward.
"Oh, there have been successes, but they're fanatics. Crazy destroyers, as their name Siva implies. They are sworn to destroy every established government in the democratic world in any way which they think fit. Any way at all. regardless of the consequences.
Hawk's blue eyes are icy.
They seem delightful people. But why are you telling me this?
We want Airwolf to help destroy them.
Archangel stands up and goes across to Hawk.
You, Santini, and Airwolf. It's our only chance.
Dominic Santini frowns.
How? How can we do it if no one else can?
Archangel leans on his cane for support.
There is a woman member who has contacted the company. She is based at SIVA headquarters and says she has had enough of their fanaticism, and if we can get her away from their center, she will give us details of their worldwide organization. And we could also do a great deal of damage by destroying those headquarters.
Why us, though? Why Airwolf?
Archangel takes a folded map of Africa from his pocket, unfolds it, and spreads it on a table.
Because their headquarters are there.
He stabs his forefinger at a point on the map.
And that country, as you know, is not well disposed to the Western world. In fact, to anyone. To fly a task force in to try to destroy SIVA's headquarters would entail flying over their territory, and could cause a big enough international incident to start World War III. And we can't get there without flying over a lot of foreign territory. Not that that would worry us if we could do it without being seen.
Archangel smiled.
But it is too risky.
Hawk looks across at Santini.
And they want us to take Airwolf over at 60,000 feet. Then when we are directly over SIVA's headquarters...
Drop straight down onto it.
Santini finished.
But how do we collect the girl?
Hawk's eyebrows rise inquiringly.
That's a good enough question, Archangel. Morella, how do we collect the girl, particularly if we're going to blow the place up?
They aren't going to let us blast them out, then go in and say, please, may we have Miss... Say, what's her name?
Santini asks.
Maria Bizzardo.
Italian. That's good.
No. Either Spanish or Portuguese father, Greek mother. Age 27, red hair, 5 foot 8 inches, 121 pounds. Pretty and dangerous. Very, very dangerous.
How do we know we can trust her? There may be a catch in it.
We don't know if we can trust her.
Archangel goes back to admire the Renoir again.
But she has given us the exact pinpointed location of their headquarters so that you can drop in direct, pick her up, and destroy it.
Morella places a sheaf of papers on the table by the map.
Here are the full details as she passed them to us. You'll do it, Mr. Hawk, won't you?
Hawk looks across at Santini. Santini nods his head.
All right. When do we go?
Archangel looks relieved and points at the sheaf of papers on the table.
It's all in there. Now, Santini, if you will be kind enough to fly Morella and myself back to civilization, we would be grateful.
Morella looks around wistfully, as if wishing she could stay, then goes to Hawk and shakes his outstretched hand.
Goodbye, Mr. Hawk.
She follows Archangel out. Santini turns at the door.
I'll be back in a few hours, String, and we'll go through those papers together.
Tet accompanies the 3 visitors to the helicopter, and as they clamber aboard, they hear the distant sound of a cello coming from Hawk's cabin. 7 days later, Hawk and Santini are in the cockpit of Airwolf, high at 55,000 feet and heading across the deserts of northern Africa. Santini confirms that the radar screen verifies that no one else is in the area. Wisps of cloud pass beneath, sometimes blotting out the view of the sand-colored earth far below. Neither man speaks, each intent on his own task. Eventually, Hawk says quietly,
Okay, Dom. This is it. Reverse thruster engines and stand by to engage rotor.
The 2 thrusting turbos howl as the engines are reversed. Dom goes through the drill.
Speed, 600 knots. 550. 500.
Airwolf is slowing down, its rotor returning into action.
Rotor engaging. Speed, 450. 300. 200. 100. 0.
When the music stops, turn the cassette over.
Airwolf stabilizes and halts in midair, hovers, then steadily drops in an almost direct line downwards towards the ground far below. They pass through a cloud, Santini still intent on the radar screen.
Nothing about, String. It's all nice and easy.
Too easy. There's got to be a catch somewhere, Dom.
They continue to drop steadily and surely, the ground getting nearer and nearer. Santini peers down and then excitedly...
I can see it, String. Right on target, directly below us. And the timing is right, too, as arranged with the lady. 14:21 hours.
She should be starting the diversion now, Dom. See anything?
Yes. Yes, I can, String. She's done it. Right on schedule. A fire in the perimeter compound. It's a plane. A plane parked there, and it's going up like a torch. Lots of people running to see to it. Clever girl.
Hawk's eyes glint.
Now for the difficult bit. In we go fast. And she should be in the central clearing inside the complex just as we touch down.
Airwolf is now very close to the ground, and Hawk and Santini can see the buildings scattered about. Hawk grunts.
It's smaller than I expected, but no one about. They're all out there trying to deal with that blazing plane.
Hawk prepared to land Airwolf in the central clearing. Suddenly, Santini points.
There she is over there, running like a hare towards us, just as arranged. She's a good-looking lady, Hawk. Come on, lady, run! Run, lady!
Hawk says nothing, but gently places Airwolf on the ground, where the spinning rotor blades whirl up a haze of dust. The girl reaches the side of the chopper. Santini opens the hatch and pulls her in.
Senorita Bizzardo, I presume.
The girl is too breathless to reply, but nods and flops into the seat next to Hawk, gasping for breath.
That was easier than I thought it would be.
Santini grins and moves to the offensive weapon panel as Hawk lifts Airwolf away from the ground to 400 feet. Hawk speaks softly.
Okay, Dom. Let him have it.
Santini unleashes everything. The entire complex, vehicles, buildings, and tents are blown into oblivion. Airwolf lifts high into the sky and moves forward. The girl has recovered her breath.
Very nice, Mr. Hawk, and most impressive. Everything is arranged in my contact with Mr. Archangel. I congratulate you. You too, Mr. Santini.
Santini grins with pleasure, and Hawk glances at her.
I congratulate you too, Miss Bizzardo. Exactly as you arranged it. Almost too easy.
His eyes were cold and unfriendly. Santini joins in.
Come on, String. It was beautiful. Perfect coordination. Now let's get out of here, take the senorita home, park Airwolf, and have ourselves a holiday.
The girl relaxes back in the seat, and Hawk nods.
Okay, Dom. We go.
The girl suddenly leans forward.
Before you do, Mr. Hawk, listen to me, and you too, Mr. Santini.
She takes a grenade from her jacket and holds it up for both to see.
One move, and I pull the pin.
Hawk's teeth clench tightly.
I said there was a catch in it somewhere.
The girl tossed back the mass of her red hair and smirked.
You are correct, Mr. Hawk. Surely Mr. Archangel and the rest of you never truly believed I would denounce Siva.
Hawk is moving Airwolf forward slowly at 1,000 feet.
What do you want?
I want Airwolf, Mr. Hawk. And unless you do exactly as I order, I pull this pin and blow you and Signor Santini and Airwolf into little pieces.
And yourself with us.
But of course, Signor Santini. But what does my life matter? If I die for Siva, I shall die for a great cause. The destruction of capitalism and power and Western corruption. I shall die in glory, as so many of my brothers and sisters of Siva have died before me in the cause of destruction.
Santini gasps.
She's mad. She's crazy.
Only crazy to the slaves of the ruling establishments.
The girl's eyes are sparkling with fanatic brightness.
I want to die.
Why did you let us burn up your headquarters?
Hawk interrupts.
And why set the plane on fire?
The girl laughs.
You are stupid, Hawk. Stupid, stupid, stupid. That was not Siva's headquarters. That was constructed specially for your enjoyment. Plasterboard, cardboard, empty huts. Nothing. Even the plane was made of wood, and the fire gave us a reason for our members to leave the complex. You are stupid, Mr. Hawk. Stupid as all the decadent followers of the so-called democratic world. No, our real headquarters are 50 miles from here, due north. And you will fly Airwolf there and land it. Otherwise, we all go together. You understand, gentlemen?
Hawk is quiet. Santini says softly,
You said there was a catch in it.
I had a premonition.
The girl is getting impatient.
Due north, Mr. Hawk. 50 miles. We want Airwolf. It is your choice.
Hawk turns Airwolf north as directed, while the girl holds the grenade menacingly in her left hand. 4 minutes pass, and there is silence in the cockpit, only disturbed by the sound of the spinning rotors. Hawk breaks the silence.
Ready, Dom?
Ready, String.
Dom, now!
With no warning, Hawk hits the control levers. Airwolf lurches violently. Santini smashed the turbos into life, and Airwolf jolts into a chaotic side spin. Hawk's belt bites deep into his body, while Santini is thrown to his left side. The girl screams. Arms flying upward in an instinctive movement of self-preservation. The grenade springs from her hand and flips through the air, and Santini stretches out and catches it with his left hand and hugs it to his chest. Hawk steadies Airwolf and with one arm pins the girl to her seat. She's white with fear and anger.
Tie her up, Dom.
Hawk raps, and Santini places the grenade safely on a rack and ties the girl's hands behind her seat, immobilizing her. She starts a string of abuse.
You filthy, dirty capitalist lackey!
Gag her!
Hawk snaps, and Santini's big hands fold over her mouth. He completes the job with the aid of a large duster knotted behind her neck, and she's strapped into her seat. Hawk gives her a cold smile.
Now, Miss Bazzado, we thank you for your information. And in return, you can have the pleasure of watching Airwolf in action.
She frantically tries to speak, and her eyes flash with frustrated fury and hatred. Hawk holds Airwolf to the northerly course, and in a few minutes, a large complex of white buildings show up around an oasis in the deserted land below.
There are your SIVA headquarters, Senorita. Just watch this. Dom, give them everything.
Santini is at the offensive weapon panel.
Everything ready, String?
Let him go, Dom.
Every weapon that Airwolf possesses is released. Immediately, the SIVA complex is aflame, and explosions take place everywhere. 2 fighter planes on the ground are obliterated before their pilots can reach them. Within 30 seconds, it is all over. Hawk takes Airwolf high into the sky, as a pall of smoke comes from the destroyed complex below. The girl's eyes have been closed tightly through the entire assault, and only open now as tears of anger and hatred stream down her face. Hawk's clear blue eyes are cool.
Now home, Dom. And you, Senorita Bazzado, will be handed over to any legal authority that wants you. And I think SIVA will be quiet for a little while. Hey, Dom, where'd you learn to grab that grenade as fast as that?
Dom grins broadly.
When I was with your old man in England during the war, the guys there taught us the game they play called cricket. I kind of liked it. I was a pretty fair slip fielder.
Slip fielder?
For once, Hawk looked put out.
What in the devil's name is a slip fielder?
Before Santini can answer, Hawk takes Airwolf high into the sky, ready to head homewards. Then...
Anyhow, Dom, right from the start of this caper, I said there was a catch in it.